Today, our theme is Mardi Gras, a very special occasion traditionally celebrated in New Orleans that started there since 1872 when a group of businessmen invented a king of carnival Rex to parade in the first daytime parade. They introduced the Mardi Gras colors of purple, green, and gold, the Mardi Gras song, and the Mardi Gras flag. To start our program, let us call our FYSS leader to greet us all. Please help me welcome Mr. Romy Mercado.
Kumusta na po kayo lahat? Okay ba? Bihira lang yung nakikita ko nakamaskara eh. Ha? Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat. At malugod na pagbati at pasasalamat ang sumainyo lahat sa araw na ito sa inyong patuloy na pagsuporta sa Forever Young. Welcome to our Mardi Gras social function. And I would like to thank everybody for attending this affair, Mardi Gras. Yan po yung French translation yan. Ano yan? Pat Tuesday. Alam niyo ba kung bakit Pat Tuesday yun? Kasi yan, one day before yung Ash Wednesday. Kasi ang Mardi Gras ay ipinagbubunyi yan, mga 40 days ata yan, 30 days before Lenten season. Kanya sinasabing Pat Tuesday, nagpapakabusog yung mga tao. Di kay hilig na kumakain, umiinom, alcoholic na alcoholic kasi nga. Dahil doon sa mahal na araw, mag-ano sila. Kanya ito ho, 300 years na ipinagdidiwang sa New Orleans. And ngayon hong araw na ito, meron ho tayo. Pero bago lahat, first off, I would like to acknowledge and thank the presence of our community leaders, starting with the President of PhilVets, Mr. Fernando Salanga, and Madam President of PhilCanes, Madam Perla de Peralta. Maraming palakpak and her better half, Delphine Arciaga. Asan si Manong Delphine? Manong, tumayo ka naman. Then we have Ching Hipol, the recently re-elected president of the Filipino Zodiac Circle. Ching Hipol! President, Mr. Rolly Mihan. Then we have the Vice President of Filipino Seniors Club, Ruben Jupino! Marami pa ng pake, Ruben. We have the President, Manager, Treasurer, Name It, ng Maharlika Club, Oscar! And her only lady, Tessie Ocampo. And the former president of PhilCanes, Mr. Cosme Malapitan, Zodiac Circle, yung mga director dyan, pinangungunahan nila Mrs. Estrada, sila Rose Taro, yung iba pa dyan na elected na officers and directors of Filipino Zodiac Circle. And today, we are honored to have a distinguished member of the Parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, kilala na ninyo, kilala nyo na isa sa pinakamalapit na politiko sa Filipino community, Mr. Don Denny!
Salamat. Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat. I feel younger. You know, first I want to say thank you to all of you for inviting me, to always being so kind and considerate and making me feel like I'm one of the Philippine community. As you know, I always feel like an honorary Filipino because I'm short, I love to eat Filipino food, and I'm always a little bit late. I'm always on Manila time. So I think that qualifies me. I want to say happy birthday to all of the celebrants. And I want to also thank all of the organizers and congratulate all of the executive of all of the groups that make the Filipino community in the Lower Mainland the most active, the most vibrant, the happiest, and I think the most successful community in British Columbia. Congratulations to all of us. I just want to say, many of you know that there's an election coming up on May the 2nd, and I also know that there are very few communities who are as committed to democracy and as active in politics as the Filipino community. And no matter who you choose to support in the election on May 2nd, I just encourage Filipino people heard in Canada, because we need your voice and we need your input. You know, I went to the Philippines. It was the first Asian country I ever went to in my life. I went to Philippines in May of 2010 for the election. And I went to Manila and Baguio City and Bontoc, and I monitored the elections there. And I tell you, Canada could learn something from the Filipino people. I sat in the hot sun while people were lined up for 2 hours. Senior citizens were lined up for hours in order to cast their ballot, and over 80% of the Filipino people voted in that election. And here in Canada, we have about 58%. So I think that we need to learn a lesson from the commitment and the dedication of the Filipino people to democracy. Now, I also went to Boracay, where I have to tell you, I was deported from Boracay because I refused to leave. And they made me leave. It was so beautiful there that it was actually a little piece of paradise. So I just want to thank all of you again for inviting me here. I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon. I hope you have a wonderful year full of happiness, full of love, and full of success for you and your families. Thank you so much. Salamat.
Thank you, Attendees. Today we have a special resource speaker who is Today we have a special resource speaker who is not only popular but a very warm-hearted individual. Born in Ilocos, a teacher of Camp Cramic High School, prior to her immigrating to Canada in 1992, together with her mother, as sponsored by her sister, Rosita Dona. Ladies and gentlemen, FYSS is proud to have with us the president of the Filipino-Canadian New Era Society and also director of CONFICA. Please welcome Madame Perla de Peralta.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, my friends. On behalf of the Filipino-Canadian to speak in front of you this afternoon. The theme of today's celebration is Mardi Gras, a Christian holiday that dates back thousands of years to pagan spring and fertility rites. It is derived from the Latin word meaning farewell to flesh, also known as carnival, a word derived from the Latin word carnilebarium, which means to take away or remove meat. Across the globe, pre-Lenten festival continue to take place in many countries with significant Roman Catholics, including the Philippines. It became a prelude to the religious season of Lent, the 40 days of penance between Ash Wednesday and Easter Sunday. During Lent, the religiously faithful refrain from a number of indulgences of flesh, including eating meat. Traditionally, in the days leading up to Lent, merry makers would feast and fill themselves with all meat, eggs, milk, cheese, and whatever they have in preparation for the weeks of eating only fish. Many historians believe that the first American Mardi Gras took place on March 3, 1699, when French explorers landed in what is now Louisiana. They held a small celebration and dubbed this patch point du Mardi Gras. We are very glad that the Forever Young Seniors Society keep this traditional celebration as what we are having now today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam de Peralta. May your tribe increase. Before we call the birthday celebrants, you will notice that each is given a shooter. We will use those later for our birthday toast. We are now in an hour of membership hour, okay? Presented to you by our FYSS officers and directors. Here they are, Mr. Bien Tabangura and David Garcia.
ANOSA Onboard R&D Corporation.
Greetings to everyone. I am Bien, and one of your directors at this Forever Young Senior Society. This membership portion will be a permanent mainstay in our birthday presentation. Before we start, may I introduce my co-host, David Garcia, another director of FYSS. Please welcome David.
Thank you very much, Bian, for your warm introduction at maraming salamat po sa inyong pagdalo ngayon. On this part of the program, we will be announcing the schedules of the social functions of the Filipino Seniors Association under CONFICA, and also to introduce our new FYSS members.
To start, I am announcing the social schedules of several organizations who are CONFICA members. For next Sunday, April the